So, the 68th Grammy Awards are happening on Sunday in Los Angeles, and the music industry is breathlessly hyping up what they're calling a historic face-off between three superstars: Kendrick Lamar, Bad Bunny, and Lady Gaga. All three are nominated for Album of the Year, the big one, the trophy that supposedly matters most. And apparently, this is the most exciting thing to happen to music since the last time the Grammys tried to convince us their awards actually mean something. The narrative being pushed is simple. Three global superstars, all insanely talented, all culturally significant, all competing for the one award none of them have won yet despite having multiple Grammys already. It's supposed to be suspenseful, a nail-biter, the kind of competition that has fans on the edge of their seats waiting to see who the Recording Academy will crown. Except, here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. This face-off is manufactured drama designed to make you care about an award show that's been hemorrhaging relevance for years. And all three of these artists, they know it. They're playing the game because the game still has value, even if everyone involved understands the rules are kinda BS. Welcome to Celebrity Rap Life, where the spotlight never fades, comebacks are built from chaos, and every headline tells a deeper story. Like, subscribe, and stay locked in. Let's break down the players in this supposedly historic battle, because context matters even when the competition is basically theatrical. Kendrick Lamar, the Pulitzer Prize winner, the guy who's been nominated for 57 Grammys and won 17. 17! He's got trophies for days, but somehow never Album of the Year. Good Kid, Mad City lost. To Pimp a Butterfly, an album that literally changed hip-hop and sparked nationwide conversations about race and identity, lost to Taylor Swift's 1989. Damn won the Pulitzer Prize for Music, but lost Album of the Year at the Grammys. So Kendrick showing up to the Grammys competing for Album of the Year again is what exactly? Validation he clearly doesn't need? Another chance for the Recording Academy to potentially snub him in favor of someone more palatable? Or just playing the game because Grammy wins still translate to sales and cultural cachet, even if they don't actually reflect artistic merit? Bad Bunny, the reggaeton superstar who's basically conquered the entire planet without ever switching to English to make Americans more comfortable. He's performed in Spanish, made albums in Spanish, stayed authentically rooted in Latin music and Puerto Rican culture, and still became one of the biggest artists in the world. He's won multiple Grammys, stomped streaming numbers, sold out stadiums globally. But Album of the Year? That's always gone to English language albums or crossover projects. The Recording Academy talking about Bad Bunny as a serious Album of the Year contender is either genuine progress in recognizing non-English music, or it's performative inclusion designed to make the Grammys look more diverse and globally minded than they actually are. Lady Gaga, Mother Monster. 13 Grammys already. She's won for pop, for jazz, for rock, for film soundtracks. She's proven she can do literally everything. Dance pop, ballads, experimental art, traditional standards, movie scores. She's the industry's darling, the artist who represents both commercial success and artistic credibility. But she's never won Album of the Year either, despite being nominated multiple times, which is wild when you think about her cultural impact, her artistic range, and how perfectly she fits with the Grammys' claim to value: innovation, excellence, cultural relevance. So we've got three artists who've collectively won 30-plus Grammys, sold hundreds of millions of records, influenced entire genres, and shaped global music culture. And somehow, none of them have won the one award the Grammys say is the most important. And if you're starting to realize this whole historic face-off narrative is less about the artists and more about the Grammys trying to create drama to boost viewership and maintain relevance in an era where award shows are dying, you need to subscribe to this channel right now, because what we're actually witnessing isn't a competition between artists, it's the music industry's desperate attempt to make you believe these trophies still matter. Hit that subscribe button, because we're about to expose exactly how this game works. Here's what makes this whole situation suspicious: the framing. Media outlets are calling this a face-off, like these three artists are somehow opposed to each other. Like Kendrick making an album about generational trauma and spiritual healing is in competition with Bad Bunny making reggaeton that celebrates Latin culture, and with Lady Gaga making whatever genre-defying art she created this cycle. They're not competing. They're not even in the same lane. Kendrick makes introspective hip-hop that requires analysis. Bad Bunny makes music that makes people move and feel connected to their culture. Lady Gaga makes theatrical, vocal showcase art pop. How do you judge those against each other? What's the metric? Which one is better? Better at what? Achieving which goal? You can't objectively compare them because they're doing completely different things. But the Grammys need you to believe you can, because without the competition narrative, there's no suspense. And without suspense, nobody tunes in to watch a 3-hour ceremony where 90% of the awards get rushed through to make room for performances and commercials. The twist that makes this genuinely interesting isn't about who wins, it's about what the choice reveals about what the Recording Academy values right now. If Kendrick wins, it's the Academy finally recognizing him after multiple snubs, possibly trying to make up for past mistakes, or acknowledging that hip-hop deserves the top award. It signals that artistic depth and cultural commentary matter. If Bad Bunny wins, it's either genuine recognition of non-English music's global dominance, or it's the Academy trying to appear inclusive and globally minded without actually changing their fundamental biases. If Gaga wins, it's the safe choice, the industry veteran who's proven herself across genres, who represents both artistry and commercial success, who's already beloved by the Academy. It signals that the Grammys still value traditional markers of success over risk-taking or cultural revolution. And here's the genuinely suspenseful part. We won't know what the choice reveals until we see the rest of the winners. Because if Kendrick wins Album of the Year but gets shut out from other hip-hop categories, that tells a different story than if he sweeps. If Bad Bunny wins but no other Latin artists win major awards, that looks like tokenism. If Gaga wins and it's part of a night where traditional pop dominates, that suggests nothing's really changed. The pattern of winners matters more than any single award. But let's be real about what Sunday night will actually look like. All three artists will attend, probably. They sit in the audience looking gracious and humble. Cameras will cut to them when their names are mentioned. They'll applaud for each other because that's the performance required. And when Album of the Year is announced, 2 of them will smile and clap while dying a little inside, and 1 of them will go on stage, give a heartfelt speech thanking God and their team and their fans, and act like this trophy from an organization that's historically ignored, snubbed, or undervalued their work is the greatest honor of their career.
That's the game. And they're all good enough players to perform their roles perfectly. Here's what nobody wants to admit. All 3 of these artists have already won. Not Grammys necessarily, but actual success. Kendrick has a Pulitzer Prize and is considered one of the greatest rappers alive. Bad Bunny has conquered global markets and stayed authentic to his culture. Gaga has reinvented herself multiple times and influenced an entire generation of artists. The Grammys is just a trophy, a shiny object that might boost sales for a few weeks and look good on a shelf. It doesn't make Kendrick's music deeper, or Bad Bunny's impact larger, or Gaga's artistry more valid. But the industry needs us to believe it does, needs us to tune in Sunday to see who wins, needs us to argue about whether the right person got it, needs us to care enough about these awards that we keep treating them like they mean something objective, rather than just industry politics and voting patterns. If you want to follow what actually happens Sunday, who wins, and what that choice reveals about where the music industry's values actually are right now versus where they claim to be, you need to subscribe to this channel. Because we're going to break down not just who wins, but what the wins mean, who got snubbed, and whether the Grammys are still relevant or just going through the motions. Subscribe now, because the real story isn't who gets the trophy, it's what happens after. The 68th Grammy Awards are happening Sunday. 3 superstars are competing for Album of the Year. The media's calling it historic. And all three artists are probably just hoping the whole thing ends quickly so they can get back to making actual music instead of playing industry politics. Kendrick, Bad Bunny, and Gaga walk into an awards show. Only one walks out with a trophy, but they all walk out knowing the trophy was never the point. The music was. The music always was. The Grammys just need you to forget that for 3 hours on Sunday night.